I've never seen a defendant this bold. He's casually sipping coffee in court. The judge asks him to speak. He gestures for the other person to wait, because he's insanely rich, surrounded by top-tier lawyers. So when facing the charges, he's not nervous at all. He doesn't even take the judge seriously. But can money really fix everything? Suddenly, he starts coughing violently. He even coughs up blood. At that moment, his life begins to change. He's rushed to the hospital, still acting just as arrogant, because he owns the entire hospital. He thinks he can choose any doctor he wants. But what annoys him is the old stranger in the next bed. He clearly isn't used to it. While getting his head shaved, he complains about sharing a room, but that rule was actually made by him. 2 beds per room. No exceptions. His assistant reminds him not to contradict himself. Looking at himself in the mirror, he feels uneasy for the first time. No matter how powerful you are, facing a terminal illness makes you feel helpless. He goes through multiple surgeries, but the disease keeps spreading. His body gets weaker. He lies in bed, barely able to move. His roommate, Carter, isn't rich, but his family visits every day. The wall is covered with his kids' drawings. Meanwhile, he's rich but alone. His only company is a coffee machine. Carter just smiles, because he knows where that coffee comes from. He prepares a fancy breakfast, and tries to share it with Carter. But Carter refuses. His body can't handle it anymore. At this point, nothing he eats helps. His body is already failing. His digestion is weak. He throws up every day. Food he once loved has become a burden. He even feels that this slow suffering is worse than a quick end. Carter has always wanted a Mustang. Now his grandson gives him a model. It's just a toy, but it makes him happy. At least, someone remembered his wish. That's life. 2 completely different paths can still cross. Because of illness, 2 people from totally different worlds start to connect. They begin talking about family, about marriage. Carter could have been a professor, but when he was young, his girlfriend got pregnant, so he gave up that path and found a stable job. He became a mechanic, and did it for 45 years. What he gained was a complete family, but he knows he lost a lot too. Late at night, he thinks about his younger self, but there's no going back. Edward is the opposite. He started hustling early, built his wealth from nothing, made a lot of money, but besides money, he has almost nothing. Several marriages, all failed. One chased success, one protected his family. Each lived the life the other envied, but now, they share the same pain. They take turns struggling at night. Slowly, they become friends. They start discussing life. Sometimes, they sit in silence. One watches TV, one writes, until the doctor brings the report. Straight up tells them, they don't have much time left. One has 6 months. The other, maybe a year. They once thought knowing the ending early would make it easier, but when it's real, it's not. They look at each other. If they could start over, maybe they'd choose each other's life. But time doesn't go backward. They start playing cards. The next day, everything seems normal. While cleaning, the assistant finds a book and a crumpled paper. He cautiously asks about end-of-life plans, but Edward hasn't figured it out yet. After the assistant leaves, he opens the paper. Can't quite understand it. When Carter wakes up, he's about to leave. That paper is a list he wrote when he was young. A teacher asked them to write what they wanted to do in life. He just wrote random things. But now, it becomes a real bucket list. Edward reads it out loud. The wishes are simple, like helping a stranger, or laughing until you cry. He thinks it's boring, so he adds more. Skydiving, kissing the most beautiful girl in the world. They both laugh, looking at the list, because they know it won't be easy. Hospitals, treatment, real life, all in front of them. But when they really think about it, they realize those important things aren't that important. Company, money, none of it matters compared to life. As for treatment, it's just a matter of a few more days or less. Instead of waiting to die, why not truly live once? They both agree. Right then, Carter's wife visits. He tells her he's leaving for a while. She doesn't understand at all, thinks he's being reckless, sick but refusing treatment, and still wants to go out. She even feels he's abandoning the family. But Carter is firm. He says his whole life has been for his family. 45 years of working. Now, he just wants to live for himself once. Her objection doesn't change his mind. They walk out of the hospital, ready to go. First stop, skydiving. As the plane climbs, Carter gets nervous. He's never done this before, even starts regretting it. But there's no turning back. He jumps anyway. Meanwhile, Edward is thrilled. They dive through the clouds. All worries disappear. Carter opens his parachute quickly. Edward enjoys the free fall. At that moment, they truly feel alive. Next, they get tattoos. Edward loves the idea. Carter doesn't. They're completely different, but they respect each other. Third wish, drive a race car. Edward rents out a track. They speed like crazy. Carter enjoys this the most. The thrill of speed makes him feel young again. Even if you're old, as long as you have passion, you're not truly old. Then, they take a private jet and start traveling for real. First stop, the French coast. Beautiful sunset. Edward used to come here with his daughter, but now they've lost contact. Carter learns he has a daughter, so he adds, "See your daughter," to the list. But Edward crosses it out. He doesn't want to face it. Back at the hotel, Edward gets a call from Carter's wife. She asks him to bring Carter home. She's accepted that he will leave one day, but doesn't want to lose him while he's still alive. Edward hesitates, feels like he's breaking a family, so he suggests ending the trip, but Carter refuses. He says his life has been empty for a while. After his kids grew up, he lost direction. He needs this time. That reassures Edward. This isn't impulse. It's Carter's real choice. Next day, they go to the African savannah. Animals, nature, everything is breathtaking. Edward wants to hunt, but it's not allowed, so he just pretends. Then, they visit the pyramids in Egypt. They talk about death, about life's final questions. Did you truly enjoy life? Did you bring joy to others? Edward is sure about the first, but hesitates on the second. He thinks about his daughter, a relationship full of regret. He made choices, thinking he was protecting her, but lost his family instead. He starts reflecting. Later, they go to India, see the Taj Mahal, talk about how they'll be remembered. Carter wants to be cremated and buried somewhere beautiful. Then, they travel east, climb the Great Wall, ride motorcycles, reach the Himalayas. They want to climb, but the weather stops them. They have to give up. Both feel regret. Time is running out. Next, they go to Hong Kong. At the hotel, Carter meets a woman he connects with. The vibe is great, but when she gets closer, he turns her down, because in his heart, there's only his wife. This makes him want to go home even more. So they decide to end the trip. The journey seems wild, but it helps them realize what they truly want. Now, they have to face what they've been avoiding. Death is coming. On the flight back, the mood changes. Reality is waiting. Illness. Time. The ending. Edward plans to take Carter home, but the car stops at his daughter's house. The assistant arranged it, trying to fix things. Edward gets furious. He built everything himself, controlled everything. Now he has to lower himself and ask for a relationship. He can't accept it. In anger, he tears up the bucket list and leaves. Back at his mansion, everything is still luxurious, but emptier than ever. He eats alone, stares at the glass. People are around, but no one truly understands him. Meanwhile, Carter returns home. Family gathers for dinner. Warm atmosphere. His kids are all there. He's finally back, where he belongs. After dinner, he reconnects with his wife, but suddenly, he collapses. Rushed to the hospital. Edward hears the news, and comes immediately. Past conflicts don't matter anymore. Carter takes out the list, asks him to finish it. He even says something that makes them laugh again. Then, he crosses off. Laugh until you cry. That wish is done, but the list isn't finished. The rest is for Edward. Carter is taken into surgery, but he doesn't make it. That night, he's gone. Edward stands outside, quiet for the first time. Later, he goes to his daughter's house again. This time, he doesn't back down. He rings the doorbell. No arguments, just calm conversation. Years of distance start to fade. Then, a little girl appears, his granddaughter. First time meeting her, he bends down and gently kisses her, completing the wish. Kiss the most beautiful girl in the world. Later, at Carter's funeral, he crosses off another item. Help a stranger, because Carter changed him and helped him find his family again. Time moves on. The next spring, the assistant takes their ashes to the Himalayas, leaves them on the summit, closest place to the sky, their final resting place. Edward passes away eventually, eyes closed, but heart open. No longer alone. A man who had everything finally found what mattered. A man who lived for family finally lived for himself. Two completely different lives met at the end. They didn't change the ending, but they changed the journey. This trip wasn't about living longer. It was about living meaningfully. Life is actually simple. Don't wait until the end to start your list. You don't have to be wildly successful. What matters is, did you truly live? Some views aren't meant to rush past. They're meant to stop and take in. In ordinary days, slowing down is enough.